Finally, we're back. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to One Piece. And this is episode 1146. It's been 3 weeks actually, because the past 2 weeks we have not had One Piece. It's been on break. And I'm hoping it's for good reason. I'm hoping that this episode ends up being a big episode, big deal. I don't know what to expect, obviously, but just as a note, if I seem a little off, if I seem a little down or quiet, I just recorded Togananki before this, and if you saw my reaction to Togananki and watched my afterthoughts, you understand. For those who didn't, I'm in a bit of a bad place at the moment. So I'm hoping that One Piece raises my mood here. Which, considering the shit that's happening in One Piece right now with the Gorosei, it's I have no clue. But we also have Dory and Broggy, and that's always a big plus. But also, Mars is going after everyone in the lab, and it's kind of a mixed bag, because there's a lot of really good stuff happening, but also a lot of scary stuff. But at least One Piece tone wise is more enjoyable than what I'm going through otherwise. So maybe just by that equivalence, I'll be able to handle it. Yeah, I'm going through a lot right now. So, I think the best choice here would be to just get into this and hope for the best. Let's do so. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So why was there a 2-week or 3-week wait actually for this? It really didn't feel like it was anything more than what we've been getting. It wasn't a big special episode, nothing really big and exciting happened. Other than, just the standard stuff that's already been going on. It didn't, the quality of it in terms of animation, in terms of, the stylism, in terms of just all of that stuff wasn't any higher than it has been. It doesn't feel like this break accomplished anything. Because that's the only reason that I would think of for taking multiple weeks off like that. You take 1 week off, it's okay, that's just, to make sure things don't catch up and all. You're taking another break every now and again. But you're taking 2 weeks off. There's 3 weeks between 1145 and 1146. And again, there's not really anything to show for it. It's really no different of an episode in terms of, again, quality than the last episode. And we didn't even touch on the robot. The giant robot got up and started moving, and that is literally nowhere in this episode. The robot is not shown once. It is not even mentioned as being moving through the island still. And I mean, I understand, like, it's One Piece, and, like, even in the manga, it's like, oh, you'll have, like, some time between because it's like it has to focus on everything, so you have to go from one thing to the next and to the next before you go back to that first thing again. You have to go through a bunch of other stuff because there's a lot going on. One Piece has been this way for honestly most of its run. And I'm fine with that. But it's like this didn't need 2 weeks off. It just didn't. Like, I can maybe, like, hope that it's for a future episode and they just wanted to, like, get work on that extra work on that done. But it's like they could have still done that with these other episodes going, and it just, I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It just feels like this wasn't anything special after what happened last time. And it doesn't feel like the 2 weeks was necessary. And maybe that's just me because it's like um it's felt like so empty without One Piece for these past couple weeks, but I've just I just don't feel like it was needed. It feels like a waste. And honestly, I'm really not enjoying that we're taking like all these breaks in the first place, all these extra breaks in the first place. If you're going to take a break before, like, oh, something really big is going to happen in the next episode, that's one thing. I can at least understand that because you're going to want to put extra effort into the animation and just everything into that. But that's clearly not what happened here. But I'm not gonna bitch about this forever. Let's talk about like the episode otherwise. So we got to see, I think, all five of the Gorosei in action in this one, which is unusual because like in the past episodes, it's usually we focus on one or two of them at a time. But we saw Jupiter doing the big suck, which I guess you could think of that as a power for a worm. Sure, he has a big mouth, so why not? We also saw Dory, Broggy, and Luffy having to deal with Warcury as his boar form. And we can see that Gear 3rd, even a move as strong as Red Rock, is just nothing compared to the Gorosei. Luffy has to be in Gear 5th to have any chance to do anything against them. And that's only because, Gear 5th is literal cartoon bullshit. Like, it's kind of a cheat code. But we saw Mars having notable action, going and rescuing York and trying to specifically use her knowledge to be able to shut off the broadcast. We saw Nusturo completely aura farming, like just being the absolute like baddest motherfucker in this entire arc. Because why the fuck not? Let's take the psychotic, evil, vile, horrific fascist leader and make him into, the coolest character in the room. That makes sense. Sure. We saw Saturn coming up towards the ship and Nami, Usopp, and them at the end. So Saturn didn't really have a big role to play, but he was there. Let's see. Who am I missing? Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn. Who am I missing? I've got four. I was talking about four of them there. Saturn, Venus, Mercury, Mars. No, that's all 4. No, that's all 5, rather. No, I got them all. Never mind, I can't count. So it's just, they're doing their things. The Vice Admirals try to be relevant, but Bonnie, Frankie, and Atlas take care of them really easily. Though Nostro comes like right to them at the end. So yeah, that's fucked. I don't think any of the 3 of them can really do much unless Bonnie's like powers, which are hinted at being kind of overpowered, any future she can imagine for herself, as long as she has that imagination. So maybe she could do something here. And then on top of it, you just have like whatever that is in the tank at the end. We don't get like an actual view of it, so I'm not sure. It's just, there's so much being like set up. This feels like a setup episode for the stuff that's going to happen next. I do not for a second believe that Mars is going to be able to do anything here to stop the broadcast. I don't believe that I don't believe that the actual broadcast could be stopped from here. I feel like Vegapunk's too smart for that. On top of that, we know that only 3 of them were like actively working on this plan in the first place. So I'm wondering if Stella made it so that no one else except for those 3, Pythagoras, Shaka, and him, would even have knowledge about that. Because he could absolutely like manipulate that into being. He could absolutely make it so that none of the other Vegapunks would know. He would absolutely have a way to do that. But like, we see Nostro take out that giant very easily, which it tracks. It's like, we don't know if the giant's dead or like really gravely injured or anything. But he did go down, and he was the one who was carrying Kuma, right? So that's not great in and of itself. It's just like things are like really starting to go wrong, and it's not fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's a problem. But again, we know they're going to escape, so it's just a matter of how at this point. Because like, we have a lot of different things that need to come together for this to work. And the problem is, like, escaping from the Gorosei seems to be the hardest one. Because not only are they currently on everybody's heels, but it's like, how do you even escape them in the first place? Especially fucking Mars, who can fly. It's like, even if you get to sea, how are you going to escape them? Like, I don't know. But I guess we'll have to see. Maybe the robot's going to help us with that. Because the robot seemed to be, like, serving Joy Boy or something from what we got last time. Of course, we have to, touch that on the robot actually, still being a thing that's moving across the island. Hopefully we'll get that next episode. But, yeah. This was a good episode. It's just, again, it wasn't anything special for, having to wait 3 weeks for the next one. So hopefully we don't have any more breaks for a while. Hopefully this the break we had here is going to last us a little bit. Maybe that's why they took the break. So they wouldn't have to take another break for a while, and they want to make sure that we'll get like a bunch of this good stuff all in a row. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But we'll see how things continue to go. Thank you, as always, so much for tuning in. If you have any thoughts, anything that I didn't quite mention, anything you want to add, please feel free to leave those in the comments. But as always, no spoilers. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all next time.